It is that time of the week, that time of the month. Another episode, and I know it's been a while, but we're back with Talk of the Day. Now, this is the final episode of the review series. And it's gonna be it's the last episode, and we're gonna talk about what's. I'm not gonna talk about all the universal laws, but the name of this episode is "Summing Up the Universal Laws." More importantly, it'd be about what you can do to actually use these universal laws into your own life to make them work for you. Like, like acknowledging that these are the universal laws is one thing, and hell, knowing them all is just something else altogether, right? But what I think is important is what do you do with it, you know? And before going into the universal laws, um, I do want to talk about why I've not uploaded. I got married back in May. And the last episode of the podcast went up on April 25th, where I did a double hitter, 1 week right after the other, I done 2 and 1 to make up for missing February. No, it was March, for missing March. And then I made the April one in April 2-2. So you got 2 podcasts in that 1 week. Unless you're watching on Rumble, then it goes on YouTube first and then moved over to Rumble. And speaking of Rumble, the reason I did that is I am moving my podcast over to Rumble too, and I'm gonna have them both up on both platforms. That way, if you're just gonna watch me exclusively on Rumble, go for it. If you want to watch me exclusively on YouTube, go for it. If you want to go back and forth, watch 1 week on YouTube, 1 week on Rumble, go for it. Because eventually I'll catch up. Right now I've only started from episode 50, and I am gonna go back and delete a lot of my old podcasts and put them on a hard drive, and maybe do like a best of one day. I don't know. But I do want to play around with it. And that's just to clear the clutter, I guess you could say, and kind of narrow it down. I do want to get Sinister on another episode of the podcast again, and I do need a hair trim, and I don't know. I do want to get Sinister on the podcast again, but that's going to be probably later on. It'll be a little bit different this time around. Anywho, how have you all been since April 25th last time, if you watched it live? For me, I've been doing all right. And since it has been a while since I've done a podcast, I'll kind of take it as an opportunity to mix it into this review episode. Now, if you notice, during this universal law breakdown that I did, I stopped making podcasts for it. And a lot of that is because I had a hard time sticking to that topic. It's like, I don't really want to hop on and do the universal laws. And then when I was looking to the universal laws, it's kind of like, okay, that's great. A lot of it's chit chat. How do I actually use it as an action, right? And I just didn't want to do it anymore. I think I didn't review all 12. I know that, but I'm pretty sure I went over like 10, and then I was one more episode away from finishing it, and then I just didn't do it. And then during those times, I would make a return episode where I wouldn't talk about the universal laws, but I was like, I'm back, and this time I'm coming back differently, and then it wouldn't last. So I think I done like 3 or 4 comebacks between the episodes of what 40 through 50, I guess. 3 or 4 comebacks. So hell, 2023 was probably just a year of just 40 through 50, you know. And I wouldn't even say. I think towards November, I remember doing like the reading one and stuff. And today we're on episode 55. I'm recording episode 55. I'm trying to get my. I'm still using my webcam. No, I'm still using my laptop cam. Because I'm having a hard time getting my webcam to work on my computer. I might just have to buy me a new webcam. But I just know it does look a whole lot better if I can get the webcam going, because right here, it's a little grainy. Does it look grainy to you? I don't know. But this is to sum up the final of the review series of the first 50 podcasts that I did. And I'm sure I've talked about in the past why I done this review. It's that way I can get rid of the past and just highlight them and just not have to have those there. Anywho, real quick, I do have my podcast notes on my phone. I've not had the time to sit back and memorize my shit. So, you might see me glancing down at my phone to look at my notes. It's just an outline. It ain't like word for word. It's not a script or nothing. It's just an outline to help me keep my ideas going. and whatnot. Now, last episode we talked about habits, and I had a challenge for you at the end. It was supposed to be a month long, but it turned into more than 1 month. Obviously, it turned into more like what was it? April to July 10th is when I'm sitting here recording this. By the time you see this, it'd be next week sometime. So let me do the math on that real quick, aka take a look at my calendar on my PC here. On the 18th, it's just the plan on getting this episode live on the 18th. So if you're watching it, the first day it comes out, it's the 18th of July. You're watching a year from now, it's the 10th of July. Congratulations. You made it. You're a year behind the podcast. Anyway, your challenge was find a habit of procrastination and replace it with a habit of discipline. And I actually done this myself. Uh, TikTok and YouTube Shorts, man. When I would scroll those all the time, especially when I'm taking a shit. Let's just be real, right? I'm taking a shit. It ain't like when I was younger and phones weren't what they were. I used to do a word search book, or read a book, and hell, sometimes now I still read a book. But started getting away from that book and doing TikTok scrolling, mainly YouTube Shorts. I like YouTube Shorts better than TikTok, but that's more because I have more of a YouTube base built in me than TikTok. Plus my recommendations and shit that you get. I guess YouTube. I think YouTube's more defined for my taste because I use it more than TikTok. Regardless, that's a habit of procrastination. The dead scrolling right there. I'm not really challenging my brain to learn anything new. I'm looking at funny shit. I can't say I don't learn something new. Sometimes you do learn something new, especially when it comes to like the gym. I'm like, this dude's like, use this technique. I'm like, all right, I'll do that, and then I'll either like it or I don't. But regardless, so the habit of procrastination that I decided to beat was the TikTok/YouTube short scrolling while I'm taking a shit. That's just where I started. So I found this cool looking app, and I'm not even sponsored by them, but I'm probably gonna have their logo on like the bottom right of my. This is not left. That's left. Bottom right, you guys' point of view. That's fucking shit. What the fuck am I talking about? This is y'all's left. This is y'all's right. I mean, anywho, it doesn't fucking matter. I'll probably have the Imprint logo or whatever. Imprint. I'm not sponsored by them, but hell, free shout out to the day going out to you guys. It's a really neat. It's kind of like Blinklist, which is another app that I used to I think I paid $20 for a year, Blinklist, and I've not used it since March, I would say, because I swapped over to actually reading books again, and then not while taking a shit, just I would spend 10 minutes in my morning. I would meditate, read, get going outside, and do something outside. Not always in that order, but it's usually those three things. But Imprint, it's a cool looking app. It's kind of like I said, it's kind of like Blinklist. They have books and crap, but it's like visual books, like visual. They take the key ideas of books, put a visualization thing, and do pictures and explain it out, draw graphs and shit like that. And I think it's awesome. You guys should use it. I do believe they do like a 7-day free trial. I went through the free trial. I enjoyed it. I bought a month's worth. They had some really cool deals, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The books that I'm interested in on there, I can get done within a month. So I'm just like, I'll do a month, and then I'll read what I want to read, pull out what I want to pull out, and write out action plans for what I think it's most important. And I've done that. And hell, the way it's set out and stuff, I can do 3 or 4 chapters while I'm taking a shit. So that was what I replaced it. That's a habit of discipline because it's a learning thing. So that my habit of discipline that I made, and you may think it's stupid, but reading that daily to learn something new and seeing what I can apply and actually start using it. And during that month that I was doing that, I started taking it outside of just the Imprint, taking a shit thing, while I'm reading my books. I'll read a few pages or hell, even a chapter, like jot down an action out of it. It's kind of, I'm not really note taking unless it's like, I know there's going to be a test or whatever. I will write down an action plan. So like, for example, I'm reading like a Resync book. And it's about, I got it right here. I'll show you guys. This right here, Resync Your Life, is the book I'm currently reading. I bought this years ago at fucking Ollie's for $5. And I was like, well, that's kind of cool. 28 days to a stronger, leaner, smarter, happier you. Not that I'm actually really needing to do this program, but I wanted to see what his viewpoint, what his uh routine is, and what he has going on for him. And like we got to the nutrition section and saw some cool features and shit, and I was like, okay, that's cool. So I would like be like, how am I gonna use this? And real quick, I know I thought I was gonna use that as an example, but I'm not really that far into the book. I'm only in the 4th chapter. I will go back to my brain health books that I did when I was reading my brain books. One of them was like eat popcorn as a snack. It's a great replacement for potato chips, and it actually helps your brain. So I was like, hell, I would write down action plan: eat popcorn with a meal or as a snack, and then quote. I'll put like a parentheses. It may be a cool note to help me remember why I should do that. Helps your brain. So I was like, okay, cool. Now I think I could be wrong, but if my memory serves correct, I think it helps with your body's serotonin. I think. And it doesn't lead to inflammation. Like if you don't put I don't put butter and stuff on mine. I eat shit like plain, man. Like my bread, my toast. I don't butter my toast, man. When I eat toast, it's just throw some Ezekiel bread maybe or some more. Nowadays we don't have much freezer space, so I don't really get Ezekiel bread like I used to. But it's usually wheat bread or something like that. But that's what I took out of that and involved it. But sum up what I just said, I replaced taking a shit and doom scrolling, as people would call it, with YouTube Shorts and TikTok, and started doing imprint reading. And if I've noticed it from doing that habit and doing that discipline of not doing one over the other, right? Being like, I'm not gonna, because once you're used to a habit, you want to do it, But saying that you're not gonna do it and you actually have the replacement and you do the replacement, your body rewires itself. And then from there, I was able to expand out. Like I do imprint, but I'm not taking a shit sometimes. I'll sit there and read. If I'm at work and I got some dead time, all right, let's do a few chapters of my imprint book, And from there, I even expanded it more, but that'd be for a future topic and not today. I need to get in today's topic. So, how about you guys? If you took the challenge, how's it been, Have you? Did you have success replacing a habit of procrastination with a habit of discipline? And if not, talk about why. Why did you fail? If we can get like a collective reasoning why, we can kind of be like, okay, this is why you failed. Let's go with it with the growth mindset, not a fixed mindset. And that rhymes up to pretty much the warm up of this video. I'm gonna take a quick drink of my pre-workout. Today's pre-workout is bucked up, knocking 2 scoops. I took some nitric oxide pills with it. And real quick, I'm gonna hit a drink and we'll talk about the law of attraction. No, the universal laws that matter to me. And I will be blank with you and honest with you. On my podcast, I did talk about the law of gender, which is like the feminine and masculine energy. Um, there's not really an action plan to that, in my opinion. It's more of okay, yes, there is feminine energy, masculine energy in this world. So I'm not going to talk about that in this episode because it doesn't get you where you want, right? It's just something to acknowledge. So anyway, looking at my outline, we're talking about the laws of the universe. I put the ones that matter to me. I'm gonna run through these laws real quick, and we'll talk about the final part of this, the laws of the universe. I'm gonna tell you the laws. We'll talk about some quick laws. The law of attraction, which is the most popular universal law. And I'm going to talk about applying these and how do you apply the laws of the universe into your life. And I'll talk about this challenge. And then this month's challenge. And if you didn't do procrastination challenge and you want to take on double dose homework, go for it, man. Do 2 and 1 if you want. I mean, don't burn yourself out though, because change takes time, and the best way to change is by doing a progression step by step instead of all at once. Now, real quick, these quick law reviews. One of the universal laws is the law of divine oneness, which pretty much says everything is connected. Our thoughts, our actions, our results, everything is connected with the universe. Which means the choices we make throughout the day matter. People use energy waves as a way, energy links, wavelengths as a way to describe this, and I'll tell you what that is. If I make a decision, like me sitting here right now, doing this choice of me recording this podcast and putting in the work to upload it, that sends waves to the universe, and the universe will react back. I don't know how the universe will react back and what it would do. But the point of it is, you put yourself out there, there will be an action. Every action has a reaction. What you do affects everybody around you. It affects you, and it affects the universe in a way. So it's kind of like a mirror effect. You send something up, it comes back. Send something up, it comes back. Manifestation 369, exactly the same thing. The 3 is the connection between the universe down, right? Let's make a 3. I'm probably do it backwards so you guys here. Yeah. Okay. So you have a 3. The top part of the 3, you know, that first curve is the universe. Some people call God. God and the universe are the same, but obviously some people do think that. Um, the first hoop is the connection. Me reaching my hand out to you, right? The universe reaching your hand. Mine is my sending up to the universe. They catch it. That's where we meet. That's where the meet line is. The 6 is the bottom, which is us, right? The world sending something up to the universe, and then the 9 is the receiving, sending back down. It's like a constant loop, right? And then 3 is that meat ground. Anyway, 369 manifestation, pretty much exactly what it is. Everything you do, choices, thoughts, desires, actions, everything gets sent to the universe, and there is a reaction. So everything we do is connected. Alright, the law of polarity emphasizes the existence of opposites in life, like a coin. For good, there has to be bad, right? The other side of the heads is tails. Their opposites are essential for life. They're important. Without them, I don't believe growth would be a thing. If you don't have bad times, you can't appreciate the good. And if you always have good times, you don't grow. Come on, let's be real. In my opinion, like, you cannot sit here and tell me that if life was always good, that you would have growth. If it wasn't for some breakups in my past relationships, I wouldn't be the man I am today. If it wasn't for the failures that I've experienced in the past, I wouldn't be the man I am today. So you have the opposite of light and dark. For light to exist, darkness has to be there. And a lot of people use this as like, for there to be good people in the world, there has to be bad people. It's kind of like you gotta have that comparison or it can't exist, you know? So bad times create good times, but when you're in good times, there will be bad times coming. And for you to be successful, you need to experience failure to fully appreciate the successfulness, right? The feeling of success. So everything in life has a polar opposite, and it is a universal law, meaning it is just, it's kind of like required. It's just got to be that way. Because without one, we can't appreciate the other. The next one is the law of rhythm, which kind of connects with the law of polarity, and the way that I spoke about it. It recognizes that life is cycles. Good times, bad times to good times, good times to bad times. Continuously go. Just like the seasons we experience every year, from winter to spring. From spring to summer, from summer to fall, we fall back to winter, winter back to spring, spring to summer, summer to fall, fall back to winter. It's not failed. It has done it for over 2,000 years. It has done it over the 2024 years. Um, it's the law of rhythm. We go through it. We go through it. So when you're going through a breakup, it's not gonna last, man. And heck, emotions don't even last. We cycle through 'em. Like when we're angry, we gotta let it pass, but it will pass. You're upset, you're sad, it can pass. And there is extremes to this, but I'm talking about in general. We go through life through various stages and cycles, and that's how it is. The next one I want to talk about is the law of relativity, that everything in life is neutral. There is no good and bad, honestly. We define them. Our perceptions and our perspectives of that we have created of life, from our beliefs, from the way we were raised, from the way we look at things, and the way we talk to ourselves and our belief system, that carves our perspective. And when we have a certain perspective, that defines the event, that defines the thoughts, and that defines your experiences. We give value to them. We define if it's good or bad. We define if it's negative or positive. That's us. Because the law of relativity tells us that everything that happens in this universe is neutral. It is what it is. It happens without emotion. But we use our perspectives to put emotion behind it and we define it. So technically, in the eyes of the universe, if you lose your job, that's not bad or good. It's neutral. It's this happened. Now, your value that you hold for that job or your belief system for that job that you had, that's what. Ow, fuck, I hit my knuckle. That's what gives you perspective. And you define good or bad. So you can't be like, universe, why did you do this bad thing to me? The universe's response is everything in life is neutral, man. You giving it meaning. Because the universe does not make my thoughts. I create my thoughts. But my experiences with what the universe has thrown at me has defined the way I think. But I have the power to change my wavelengths. I got the power to change my vibration. And that brings me to the next one. I'm fun talking about this one. I wish I'd done this when I first done the universal laws. The law of cause and effect. And if you notice as I'm going on here, a lot of these laws sound similar because they kind of are. But this kind of connects with two other laws I talked about, especially the first one. What's it? The law of defined oneness and the law of rhythm. This kind of talks about this. And hell, even really the law of relativity can influence this. The law of cause and effect tells you that every action you take produces a result or outcome. Me putting this podcast episode up on YouTube and then moving over to Rumble a couple weeks later, that is a cause, and there will be a reaction to it or a result or outcome. That's pretty much law of cause and effect. It helps you need to recognize that, hey, the choices I make have consequences, and the actions I take matter, even if I don't see an immediate outcome. The law of correspondence, which is the last quick law that I want to go over, and it states that our external reality is our reflection of our internal state. Our thoughts, emotions, attitudes are mirrored in the world around us. So, pretty much, if you've heard Wayne Dyer's orange philosophy, or if you take an orange and squeeze it, what comes out? It's what's inside. The orange juice comes out. And the point of that whole analogy is the way we act and the way we speak to people and the way we react to people even, or if we feel jealousy or envy, it's not necessarily meaning that you're bad because I'm jealous of you or I'm upset at you. That doesn't mean you're bad. Um, if I'm unfriendly to people and angry at people all the time, that means I have a lot of anger inside me and that anger's coming out. Right? So if we harbor the negativity we will attract negative experiences. So we hold the negativity in, and we have thoughts of negativity a lot. We tend to see it and react to the external world in a negative way, or we'll see situations that happen that someone wouldn't see as negative, or someone wouldn't be upset about, because the way we perceive it connects to how we feel inside, and um, we reflect out how we feel on the inside. So, to sum that up, again, our external reality is a reflection of our internal state. So, the way we see things, we pretty much, the way we see, the way we feel inside, and the way we think about ourselves and whatnot, it defines our external reality. And how we act, and if we're upset and stuff, it's kind of, it doesn't have something to do with the other person most of the time, sometimes. Now, there's some extremes to this, obviously. Like, you can get a collective conscience from a lot of people saying, like, hey, yeah, that's fucked up. Don't be doing shit like that. So, on the flip side of the negative, if we radiate positivity and gratitude, we will invite more positivity into our life. And then the meat of all this shit, let's talk about the law of attraction, the most popular law of the universe. That everybody tells you that you can just think things into existence. Which you can, but you have to. There's more to it than just saying, "Oh, give me that nice Corvette," or "Oh, I want a big ass monster truck." And I'm thinking it with my third eye, and it's gonna be there tomorrow morning. I'm gonna wake up and boom, it's there. And my action today is I'm gonna sit on my ass and do nothing all day. But think about it. Don't stay here in the brain. You gotta do some action, get it out there. Yeah, you can get that monster truck. Yeah, you can get that Corvette. Yeah, you can get that job. Yeah, you can get that money. As long as you're doing actions that have the reaction of making that money. You can't just think it. But understanding your thoughts and having the thought pattern can lead to it, absolutely. But not by itself. It ain't a one-time thing. It's not a one-step thing. But the law of attraction states that like attracts like. The energy that you put out to the universe will be reflected back to you. So if you focus on lack and negativity and you send that out to the universe, guess what the universe is going to give back to you? Lack and negativity. So you attract more lack and negativity into your life. But if you focus on abundance and gratitude and opportunity and positivity, you will attract opportunities and experiences that will align you with those vibrations. Because really, you'll be seeking it out, and then you'll find more opportunities because that's where your thoughts are at. Now, understand your thoughts and emotions and use them to attract better to your life. But remember, you can't just stop at the thoughts. Action is required. Now, how do you apply the universal laws into your life? As we're getting to the end of the episode. Simple. Remember how the universal laws work. That's number one. Keep a mental note of how it works. Right? Bad times create good times, for example. Remember that. Bad times create good times. And when you're in good times, remember that it won't last. Bad times will come. But me saying that, I'm not saying when you're in the good times, dread the bad times coming. Enjoy it. And then when the bad times get here, don't act like you're blindsided. Be like, okay, this is a bad time. I'm gonna make the best out of it. I'm gonna enjoy it if I can, the best I can. I'm gonna enjoy the journey as I go through this bad time, because I know on the other side of it, I will return to a good time. And applying the law of attraction in your life is 5 simple steps. A, clarify what you want and be as specific as possible, because the more specific you can be, the more realistic you can make it to that goal. Number 2, believe in your ability to manifest the life you want or the goal you want. 3 is you have to visualize your desired outcome. During my power meditations that I've talked about in the past, and I'll have to sit here on my review episodes to see if I actually talked about it. And if I have not, I will talk about it in a future episode. But You need to visualize. During my power meditation, I have 3 stages to it. It takes about 15 minutes. Sometimes it's 5 minutes each to make a total of 15 minutes. That's my limit. I can't go over that. I can go under that. But first thing I do after I do my little breathing technique is I pray. I thank God for making me up another day. And which, I mean, if you're not religious, obviously you can do something else. For me, I believe in a God. I believe in a higher power. So I will. That comes first. So 5 minutes of me praising Him and getting my morning prayer on, I guess you could say. The second thing after that's done is I will do 3 things in my life that I'm grateful for. After I do another quick breathing, do some power breaths, energy breaths, and then I will go to, like I said, the 3 things I'm grateful for. And I don't go very extravagant. Usually I do God first again, right? I'm thankful for that, thankful for that, whatever. Second thing is I usually connect it to a person or a something relationable. So like most of the time it's either my kids or my wife or my brothers or my best friend or this person that's in my life and whatnot. This person is put in my life for this specific time frame and what I learn from it. I'll be grateful for that time. And then the third thing is like a hobby or something that's happened or experience or an event that I went through and the good out of it. So like say I had a game night and I had a great time. My brother's doing a game night. I'll be thankful for that game night during that week, during that power meditation moment, you know. But I don't do the same 3 things every day. I like to mix it up, you know, with the constant being God, being first. Um, so like I said, 3 things, and then like, if you don't believe in God, replace that one with something else, you know. And then I'll do quick energy breaths real quick and do my third thing, which is visualizing. This is where this kind of connects to today's episode. I'll visualize going through the day, going through the week, going through the month, and then visualize myself going through these things I have planned to do for the month, doing them, and then getting the desired outcome. That's how my power meditation breaks down. Visualize your desired outcome. And then 4, take inspired action, which means action with emotion. So take them actions. And then finally, practice gratitude. That's how you apply the law of attraction in your life. Do that every day. And then the law of correspondence, which I don't think I talked about that, did I? I did. It says our external reality is based on our internal reflection of ourselves. Applying that in your life is number 1, prioritize self-respect and self-care. Take care of yourself. Learn how to love yourself. And remember to constantly reflect on your life. You do it once a month, once a week. Don't do it once a year. Most people will do it once a year. And that's when New Year's resolutions come out. The problem with self-reflection once a year is you'll fall off after the first 2 months. And then after that, you have a hard time getting back on. And then you just wait till the next year. Like, new year, new me. It's like, I already fucked up this year. I'll wait till next year. Don't do that. Make the reflection in there. I reflect every week with my big reflections on the month. And also build new positive habits and beliefs that match the life that you want. Right? So let's say you want to get in shape. That's one of your goals. Well, if you're out of shape, then obviously you have habits that keep you out of shape. So take a look at those habits, define what they are. It's like, oh, I eat a brownie every day. Well, that's a good place to start. Oh, I drink 8 sodas a day. Well, that's something to kick out, right? I smoke 6 cigarettes a day. Well, let's cut back and then cut it out, right? I don't go to the gym. I don't have a gym membership, but I have the money. Or hell, I got a gym membership, but I'm not been in a year. I've gotten out of the habit. Well, it's something we need to work on, ain't it? Small things matter. I'm a big believer of the compound guy. I mean, I'm a big pusher of that, big believer. Compounding matters in everything. I don't eat enough vegetables. I don't eat enough fruit. I'm always eating potato chips. These are just examples. Start with that. Like, okay, let's take a look at what my normal meals are. How much calories do I get in a day? Let's count them up and see. Wow, that's a lot. How many calories should I be getting? Let's learn that, and then be like, okay, so let me try to base it on there, and do small actions to align with the person I want to be. That's how you use them. So, I put example, you want to improve your fitness and lose weight. Simply wishing for it is not enough. You need to develop the habit of exercising and believing in your ability to achieve your fitness goals. But by constantly taking action and reinforcing your positive beliefs and your new beliefs, you will create the necessary alignment to attract the desired outcome. And that is the laws of the universe summed up. And I want to end today's podcast real quick after taking a nice little drink of my bucked up double scooper pre-workout. I hope it didn't sound weird. It sounded weird when I drank it. I don't know if y'all picked it up. If it did, just overlook it. Now, the review series is officially over. And I am going to come up with another podcast next month. Hopefully in August there will be one. I would love to get back to weekly, but I've got to conquer the monthly first. And then from monthly, I'm going to go 2 a month. And then from there, I'll go back to weekly. But I've got to, stay consistent. I would love to get to the point where I bring guests on the show, but I'm not there yet. And I'm not ready for that. But what is to come for my Fitness Abyss channel, right? This is a YouTube kind of talk right here. Before I get ahead of myself, because I forgot to tell you what I was going to originally tell you, next podcast topic, I'm going to start talking about brain health. I don't know how many episodes that would be. It might be 1, it might be 2, it could be 3. But I finished Brain Books. I got really into brain health back in November of last year, and I've been taking it seriously, dude. I've been loving it. So I want to share some of that stuff with you, and I'll talk more in detail about it in next episode. But we're gonna get into brain health for a little bit. And again, I don't know. It could be a one-off episode. I don't know. But I do think it's very important, and learning stuff that has changed some of my views I've had in the past. Also, this is something. I mean, I know I've not done a lot of gaming stuff on the channel anymore because I did the whole Gaming Abyss thing, and even then, I've not been consistent with it. And like streaming, when it comes to Twitch streaming, I'm kind of like hit and miss. Like I'm wanting to come back, I don't want to come back. I do, I don't. I do, and I don't. It's like a yin yang feeling type of thing. But I've always had a thing every October where I would play spooky games all month. And I always wanted to do that for a month straight and not miss a day. In 2021, I came very close. I had the desire to do it again in 2022, and I failed. And I had the desire to do it again in 2023, and I failed. So I want to do it again this year and actually succeed. So Spooktober 2024, every day, even on podcast day, every day there will be a gaming video up in the month of October to celebrate the horror month of Spooktober. So, this year I'm doing Spooktober 2024 correctly. Now, depending on how that goes afterwards, I might do it again next year, and I might not. I'm going to be streaming some of that stuff and whatnot. I have ideas of what I want to get. I've got all these backlog of games, of horror games to play that I was waiting for Spooktober, and it just didn't really work out the way I planned it. So that's kind of going to be the case. So if you see a bunch of gaming videos drop in October and you're not into gaming, just, weather the storm. All right, just be like, okay, this dude said he's doing Spooktober, a whole month of horror game reactions and shit like that. I get it. I might get spammed this month, but next month he'll be back. He won't be doing them. So power through. And speaking of games, I've kind of had the thought of doing character timelines for Kingdom Hearts, but it was already been done. So I think I'm gonna do Resident Evil because if you remember back in the day, I used to talk about doing a master timeline of Resident Evil. I just don't want to. I even recorded the first episode. I don't think I ever put it live though, because I would talk about pre-games, what happened leading up to the events of Resident Evil Zero. But kind of abandoned that. So I think doing a Resident Evil character timeline would be a cool thing to do. Now I don't know if it's gonna be on Fitness Abyss or on my Gaming Abyss channel. I've not made my mind up yet on how exactly I want to brand that. I might just put it on the Fitness Abyss because, like, honestly, the Fitness Abyss, I'm kind of uploading what I want. pretty much, right? And at this point in my time here, like the way it is, I don't think it's gonna be too bad if I do throw it on my main channel. Um, so yeah, character timelines, Resident Evil, not Kingdom Hearts, because Kingdom Hearts has already been done. I looked it up, someone already did. Anyway, I appreciate you guys for watching. I didn't even put a a challenge for you guys, did I? Rude. All right, the challenge this time is I want you to practice gratitude daily and work on define a goal that you want. Here we go. This is this challenge for the month. Define something that you want. Make a list of the habits that will get you closer to that thing, to that goal, and start practicing it. That's all. That's all I want you to do. Start practicing those habits. Acknowledge what needs to be done. Pick one habit, work on it, or adjust your negative habits, and start making that negative habit more positive. That makes sense. I appreciate you guys sitting here with me for the past 40 minutes. I will see you guys on the next episode of Talk of the Day. Hope you have a great week. I'm hoping to get back into the monthly. I'm sorry. Have a great month, and I will see you guys in August. Have a great month. See you guys.